It's Armin Levac, Brady, and Goz filling in for the guys here on this day before Christmas Eve. And on the line right now, Peter Landesman, the director of the film Concussion, opens in theaters on Christmas Day, depicts Dr. Bennet Omalu's research and discovery of CTE found in past NFL players. Will Smith has already scored a Golden Globe nomination for his role in the film. And Goz, we were fortunate enough to have most of our staff out there seeing a premiere of this film. And Peter, what has been the NFL's reaction and Roger Goodell's reaction to your film so far?
You'd have to ask them and let me know. I haven't heard anything from them. There's been no communication in either direction. I think that they've kept a healthy distance. I think they know the undeniability of the movie, the undeniability of the story, and I didn't really need them, so I never reached out. It's going to be very interesting. I think that part of their silence is an acceptance as it's just not a lot for them to do, and I think they're probably hoping to just weather the storm of the movie.
When did you first hear about Dr. Omalu, and how did you get involved in this project in the first place?
My producers, Ridley and Janina Scott, brought me this wonderful GQ article about Bennet Omalu, who plays this pathologist in Pittsburgh who discovered this disease originally. And I first heard about Bennet 5 years ago, but, really didn't dig in until a couple years ago, till Ridley brought me the story. And that's really when this thing got going, exactly 2 years ago. It was a very, very fast turnaround in movie land. It usually takes years and years to develop and produce a movie. In this case, it took no time at all.
Peter, would you consider yourself a football fan, and how has your opinion changed of the sport after studying Dr. Omalu's work?
Oh, yeah. Look, I played through 2 years of college. I'm a real football player, and I'm a huge fan. In fact, the funny thing is, just coming down from New York after promoting the movie, I was in LA Airport the other day, and I saw this incredible highlight reel show of Joe Washington, that great Colts running back from the 80s, and I stood there transfixed, and I turned to my wife and I said, look how beautiful this is. Look how graceful and powerful. And there's the problem, because it's all those things, and it also kills you. So how has it changed? It's sobered me, because I realized that a life is an occupational hazard, and we have to pick and choose the things that we love and pick and choose the things that are going to hurt us, if not kill us. And it's just a matter of navigating that and putting together the best life we can for ourselves. This isn't about whether or not this disease is real or if it kills you. It's about what to do about it.
It's Armin Levac, 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Brady and Goz in for the guys here on this holiday week. On the phone, Peter Landesman, director of the film Concussion, which our staff was fortunate enough to go see a sneak preview of earlier this week. And Peter, as the director of the film, we know that obviously the final product that we see is not all the scenes that you shot. Was there any part of the plot or any particular scene you wished you could have kept that you had to cut out?
Not really. There's some rumor that the NFL got in my editing room, and then Roger Goodell sat there with a pair of scissors and helped me carve up the movie. I heard that. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I thought that was so nonsensical. The first cut of a movie is usually 4, 5, 6 hours long, guys. The movie you saw is 2 hours long. So what you're doing is you're trying to craft the best possible narrative, the one that makes sense, the one that's most impactful. My job was also to protect Will Smith's incredible performance. So there's nothing on the cutting room floor that I missed. There's no secret scenes I shot of the NFL or Roger Goodell that I cut because I didn't want to insult anybody. Man, I'm just out to tell the best story I can, and I could care less what the NFL thinks. Like if I had a great scene of Roger and I thought it was important and it belonged in the movie, I would have laid myself across the tracks to keep it in the film. I could care less about what their feelings are. I'm not worried about the NFL's feelings.
Peter, how much was Dr. Omalu on set, and what was his interaction like with Will Smith?
Yeah, I give my cast a choice whether or not they want to meet and interact with the people they play if they're playing a true story, a true-to-life character. Alec Baldwin and Albert Brooks chose to stay away. They wanted to develop their own performance. They didn't want to be influenced. Will is such a hungry, interesting, greedy for information actor that he wanted as much exposure to Bennet as possible. So, Will and I went to see Bennet perform a couple autopsies. He's a pathologist. Will spent a lot of time with him independently. Bennet came to set a couple times, but Bennet works and he's got a job and a family in California, and we were in Pittsburgh shooting the movie, so he just came a couple times, not more than that.
How does Will Smith own this role? Because we know him as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Men in Black, playing totally different kind of roles, and then he comes into this role, and it's something we haven't really seen him in before. How did he own this role and kind of adjust to that new role we're not used to seeing him in?
The best kind of actors have enormous range, and Will is like an iceberg. What we've been seeing of him has been above the surface, but this performance has always been inside him. He's incredibly talented, powerful performer and an artist. We spent a lot of time digging deep, but I think this performance in this role touched something in him that he just hadn't tapped before. It was a very emotional time for him to see the movie for the first time and see what he did and what we did together. Look, even comics, even like the Eddie Murphys of the world, we see them in one zone, like in one piece of range. But the truth is, like, all these guys are just incredibly talented. It's just a matter of making a choice to go that way. And in this case, I think Will felt in his place in his career that it was time to do this kind of role.
Peter Landesman, director of the film Concussion, Armin and Levac, 104.5 The Team, Brady and Gaz in for Armin and Levac.
Peter, what do you hope the legacy of this film will be?
Look, this isn't a takedown of football. I don't want people to go away hating the game. I still am conflicted about the game. What I want people to feel is understanding that sometimes the truth is inconvenient. And what we do with that information, we're adults, we have to make adult choices. Do we let our kids play? Do we let our kids, become susceptible to this disease? And I have to tell you, this disease is terrible. It is awful. It's, adult, strong men in the prime of their lives being reduced to children and not recognizing themselves, their children, becoming violent against their families. This is real-world stuff. So I hope that this movie triggers a number of conversations around the dinner table. What are we going to do? Are our kids going to play? Or if you're playing, is it time to stop and think about doing something else? But also to be inspired about, the truth-telling one man against the system. I mean, one person can make a difference. And so if, there's also a whole element that this is about the affirmation of independence and choice and free will and sticking to your guns and doing what you think is best in the face of a lot of terrible conflict. So there's a lot of very positive messages that come out of this movie.
Peter, we love this movie. We know it's going to elicit a lot of emotion, a lot of reaction out of the people that go see it again. It opens on Christmas Day. Are you going to chill for a little while, or you got your hand in a couple other fires? What's the future?
No, man, I got a bunch of TV I'm doing, really exciting stuff, and then I'm making a new movie in the spring with Liam Neeson and Diane Lane and Jason Bateman called Felt. Mark Felt was Deep Throat in Watergate. It's a domestic spy thriller set in Washington in the early 70s and really powerful tale.
Peter Landesman, director of the film Concussion, Christmas Day. Go see it. We've seen it here as a staff of 104.5 The Team, and Peter Landesman, the director, joining us. Peter, happy holidays. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Peter.
Back at you. Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.